I'd already tried like a business at this point. I used to flip on eBay, so I'd buy clothes and resell them for like £10 profit. So I already had a little bit of entrepreneurship experience, but it wasn't very scalable. It wasn't the thing I really wanted to do. I was considering, do I go into the military? Because that's got like, the lifestyle really suits me. I like to wake up at 5 a.m. and train. I wanted to be around guys and stuff. But I started to see this new trend of making money online. So this is, 2019, yeah. So it was still relatively like a new thing back then. It was a bit of a strange concept to be making money online, being like a digital nomad.
It's like one of those fake ads that used to pop up. Do you want to work from home and make £200 a day?
That was literally the space back then. So it was like untrustworthy people making videos about like, oh yeah, they travel the world and get paid for it and whatever. And although there was a disbelief, I did kind of pursue it now. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do this now. So I tried drop shipping. I tried like freelancing work. I wanted to become like a video editor, a animator. I tried like becoming a rapper. I was just trying a bunch of different things to just see what stuck. I was willing to basically do whatever it took. So I was trying loads of different things.
Do you still have the old mixtapes?
They're on my old phone, yeah.
Bro, that's like premium content. That's the
high ticket. Bro. Yeah, the high ticket. Can't make a rap song with. It's just me doing my own ad libs and yeah. I'll tune and stuff like that.
That's precious content right there. Precious.
Yeah. So the first steps was I was just doing a lot of research and learning online and watching these videos where people were explaining this model and this one. And I was just jumping around from business model to business model, which I'm sure so many people will relate to. And in the end, basically, I went a little bit harder in drop shipping than anything else and started making like a few hundred a month in drop shipping. I did it slightly different from everyone else, where I didn't just sell shitty products from China. I actually found the guys who had the same products, but in the UK, and I drop shipped them to other people in the UK. And I used like Instagram ads instead of Facebook because Facebook kept on banning me. And so it was a lot less passive than drop shipping usually is. Everything was manual. I had to manually place orders, but I started to make like a few hundred a month from it. So it was something. And the big catalyst was this one particular day when I had a new job. I was working in a homeless shelter. It was like 3 or 4 a.m. And I was working on this drop shipping site, but I also had tasks for my YouTube channel. And I was also like learning how to code. I was trying so many different things. And I actually was just about reading a book, which was The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. And in it, he writes that basically you'll always be experiencing problems and you'll always be suffering. The point of life is not to have a tensionless life, but rather to choose the thing that you actually want to suffer for. What problems do you want to solve? Right. And it was a complete paradigm like shift for me because I was like, oh yeah, like you're always going to have to solve problems. What problems would I want to solve?
And you had that desire, you're like, suffering was okay for you. You're like, I want to join the military. Yeah. I want to train hard. So like in the masculine soul, like there is a desire to do something difficult, to slay that dragon, to choose your suffering. Like I love Peterson's kind of work on that. So at what point did you feel like you really, really found, yes, this is the thing that I want to suffer for?
I started to break it down one by one. And I was thinking, okay, drop shipping. What are the problems involved? I'm selling some shit product to customers who are going to be pissed off because it's going to take 30 days to arrive in some like crappy website that I'm not going to be proud of, just whipped up quickly. And the problems I have to deal with is like customers being angry at me. I don't even like what I'm doing. I would never do something like this if I wasn't going to make money from it. I'm just being the weird middleman who's getting a cut of the profits without giving real value. And I thought, okay, you know what? That's not how I want to spend my life. Then I thought about coding. And the first thing I thought was like, I didn't want to be a nerd with like bad posture all my life. Because I'll preface all this actually by saying that the most valuable thing that I had during this time, which I really hope that anyone watching this has, is I had the belief that no matter what I chose, I could become successful in. That's why I was trying these odd things like becoming a rapper. Because I still have the belief, it sounds silly, but it's like, I have the belief right now that no matter what it is, if I put 10 hours a day into it for 10 years, I'll get successful. I won't be the best ever, fine, but I'll get into the top 1% of anything I attempt. It doesn't matter what it is. And a lot of people don't actually believe that. And that's the problem. It's like they feel like there's genetics involved or whatever. even with basketball, let's say I'm 6'1", so I'm fairly tall for the average population, but not for basketballers. Give me 10 years and 10 hours of practice a day, and I could like, I might not be in the NBA top, you know, the top 0-0, but I could make a full-time living from it, right? And everyone should have that belief. So then I was thinking about becoming a rapper, and I thought, yeah, well, you know, if I put in 10 years into this, I could easily become like one of like the top 1,000 rappers of all time, for example. And I thought about the problems, and I knew for a fact, like, quite frankly, I thought, okay, I'm a degenerate, and I know for a fact that level of like status and fame and women throw themselves at me, I knew for a fact that would cause a lot of problems. So that was one. I had the awareness to think like, I'd get what I want, which is like love and attraction and everything, but I know for a fact that that's dangerous. Then I thought about just the degenerate lifestyle that comes with that, the possibility of getting robbed because you're in this space and everything, and it's also kind of just cringe trying to become a rapper and everything. So
yeah, being a rapper is only really cool
if you're at the top.
at the very
that's
end of the
it.
journey.
That's it. Yeah. For everything else, it's like, oh, you're a hardworking young man and stuff, fine. But like when you're a rapper, you got a few thousand subscribers. Yeah. You got SoundCloud mixtape or something, like it's just lame. But I thought the same thing with like animation and the other random things I was trying writing ebooks, and then I thought about YouTube. And at the very moment that I was thinking about the problems with YouTube, I actually saw the same thing that kept on happening every night in this homeless shelter, where the youngest guy would leave his room. So these are all homeless guys, right, in the shelter, and I've got like CCTV here. He'd leave his room, and I knew what he was about to do. He's like almost like running through the house, banging on every door. So he bangs on the ones next to him, goes down the stairs, bangs on every single one. By the time he gets out of the front door, out onto the street, almost everyone has left their rooms and came and joined him at the front of the house. There's about 15 homeless guys who have nothing to lose, stood outside smoking cigarettes, whatever. And then I just see them go off into the darkness of the night. And I used to see this every night, and I used to just think like, how fucking scary would it be if you were walking past them with your girl or something, or if you lived around this area? I know what they're about to do. Within 1 or 2 hours, they come back, and they don't come back empty-handed. They come back. One of them's holding one bike here, one bike here. One of them's holding a fucking huge like desktop PC or something, a big like computer monitor. They go to like the shooting houses or buildings nearby and just rob as much as they can. Even so, it was so bad that we literally had to tell them to like not bring the bikes inside because there was no space in the hallways and everything. And around this time, one of the guys, not the main guy, but one of the guys, he's not with them. He was sat in the back of the house by himself, like outside, just kind of like stood there by himself. And I thought about what I wanted to suffer for. And I thought about these young men. I thought about like how left behind most modern men have, how little guidance that they have, how little support that they have. I thought about the problems of YouTube, that I'd have to deal with hate comments. Weirdly, I thought very specifically about the problem of like my editing software crashing. And I thought, you know what, like that's actually a problem that I'd take. Okay, I have to go research some technical stuff. I have to fortify my mind against negative comments. And I actually thought to myself, you know what, those are actually problems that I'd be willing to take. And it's interesting because literally just before we press record, I was even telling you like that's, you know, I'm getting hate online and stuff. Oh, it's like someone said this. It's still a problem that I have to go through. It's not easy. It never becomes easy. But it's interesting that exactly what I anticipated became the problem that I'm dealing with still today. And I have zero regrets whatsoever.
Yeah, man.